Well, welcome everybody to Reach and Read. My name is Katie and I work at the Sacramento Public Library where books are just the beginning. We're so happy to have you here and we're happy to have local yoga instructor Kat Sun with us today. And we will get to her in just a moment, but first I wanted to mention a few things. So first is just some housekeeping. So we are doing this in a webinar format, so all participant microphones and video have been disabled. But if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share, you can use the Q&A button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen, and either myself or Kat will get back to you. If you're having any audio related issues, please exit the program and re-enter. We find that doing that will typically solve that issue. If you need closed captioning at any point during the program, please click the live transcript button that you'll find at the bottom of your screen. You'll click that button, wait just a moment, and then you'll see the closed captioning pop up and you can follow along. And also this program is being recorded and will be shared to the virtual yoga playlist on our YouTube channel. And in case you haven't been to our YouTube channel before, you can find us under Sacramento Public Library. And make sure to stick around after the yoga demonstration for a short book recommendation based on this week's theme. And also, I wanted to mention that we have quite a few health resources available at the library. So right now we're in the middle of a virtual Building Confidence in the Kitchen series that actually kicked off yesterday. And we're going to be doing it again on July 19th and 26th at 5:30. And it's a great program with cookbook author Leanne Brown, where she infuses mindfulness practices with cooking skills. So please feel free to join us for that one. We also host virtual Zumba on Mondays at 5:30 and virtual Zumba Gold on Wednesdays at 4. And Zumba Gold is great for beginners to Zumba or older adults, so you can always come to those. And then you can check out a book about the benefits of exercise, mindfulness, and yoga from the library collection. And then I did want to mention, because we are in the middle of summer, that our summer reading program is going, it's happening right now, and we encourage readers of all ages to get involved and sign up for summer reading. And actually participating in our health literacy programs like Reach and Read, which you're at right now, will count towards summer reading activities so that you can get points and actually get prizes. So there's a little shortcut there on how to actually log those activities. So make sure to check that out. And with that, I will go ahead and say thank you and turn things over to Kat. So Kat, take it away, and everyone please enjoy.
Great. Thank you so much, Katie, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And as usual, I'm offering this from home, so please excuse any extraneous noises you might hear coming through from cats, dogs, neighbors, my dad, etc. And also, it's always great to have some yoga props on hand if you happen to have some at home. So you can see behind me, I've got a blanket, a couple of blocks, and a strap. We don't always use them, but it's just good to have them on hand for when we do. And then this series that we're currently in is on self-care, for the caretakers. So and today's focus is on breath and breathing. So we're going to be doing a little bit of gentle breath work, and then doing some various yoga postures and stretches to kind of help open up the lungs, and then maybe some more breath work at the end. Okay, so that's kind of the general lay of the land for today's session. With that, we're going to start with some breath. So you're welcome to stay seated if you're already in a comfortable seat. If you want, you're welcome to maybe you can stretch out a blanket, because in a moment we will come onto our backs and do some sliding and gliding. So you can see here I've got a blanket laid out long so that I can slide and glide on that. Okay, so either on your back in a comfortable position or in a comfortable seat. If you are seated, take a moment to find your sit bones and then ground down through the sit bones to lengthen up through the spine. If you're already laying down, just allow yourself to really begin to sink into the support of the earth. And then maybe take a moment just to open your mouth and wiggle out your jaw a little, stretch out your tongue. As you let your mouth close, you keep your mouth soft, keep the tongue soft. If you're seated, you might even like to take a big shoulder circle. You can shrug your shoulders forward, up, back, and down a few times. Okay. And then gently closing your eyes or softening your gaze if you're comfortable with that. We're just going to take a beat to kind of tune in and arrive together. So beginning just to notice your physical body this morning, tuning in to how you're feeling in the physical body, any particular sensations happening in the body this morning that's calling for your attention. And then beginning to notice your breath. See that breath now as it moves in and out. As it breath comes in on the inhale, feel that air moving through the nostrils, through the nasal passages, filling up the lungs. As the lungs fill up, the diaphragm presses down, the belly expands out a little. As the breath moves out, that air empties out of the lungs, through the nasal passages, back out. As the lungs empty, the diaphragm comes back up and the belly hollows back towards the spine. Just a few rounds, noticing that breath as it expands and contracts. And then if you like, you can bring both hands onto your low belly. Sit back a little. Put both hands onto your low belly. And just feel the rise and fall. So here, notice, are you breathing deep, full breaths all the way to the bottom of the lungs, allowing the belly to kind of expand out on the inhale. And sometimes, where we're constantly in a stress mode, fight or flight mode, we breathe really shallow just in the upper lungs. So just consciously breathing big, full breaths all the way into the bottom of the lungs. Feeling that expansion and contraction happening even at the low belly there. Now we're just going to do some gentle 3-part breathing. So just take a nice normal breath in and out. And then the next time you inhale, you're going to think about inhaling just the first third of the breath down into the low belly. And then you're going to pause. And then you're going to breathe into the mid-torso. Feel the expansion at the diaphragm, the root basket. And again, you pause. And then feeling the breath coming all the way to the top of the lungs, the collarbones broaden. The top of that, pause for a beat. And when you're ready, just a nice full exhalation, letting all the breath out. And again, as you inhale, first third of the breath, you pause there. And then second third into the mid-torso. And again, you pause when it's appropriate for you. Breathe it to the top of the lungs, all the way, pausing at the top. Let it circulate for a beat. And then big exhale. So your eyes are open. You can see I'm sliding my hands from the low belly to the diaphragm, rib basket, to the chest. So if that's comfortable for you, you can slide your hand as you move the breath into those 3 parts, just bringing your awareness there. Or maybe just one hand on the belly, one hand on the diaphragm or heart center. Just a couple more rounds, breathing to your own rhythm, making sure you're not stressing or straining. Stay nice and soft as best you can. And if breaking the breath into 3 parts is too much, then maybe it's just 2 parts, right? You just breathe into the low belly, and then you pause, and then you breathe all the way to the top of the lungs. Just one more set. Wherever you're at, one more cycle. Take your time, but once you complete that next cycle, you can just go ahead, let your hands relax. Back to your natural breath. Just notice if your breath has shifted at all. Okay. And then from here, we're all going to go ahead and come onto our backs. So we're going to come onto a blanket if you have something that you can lay out, just because we'll do some sliding and gliding, and so it's helpful to be able to move here. Okay, so onto our backs. Taking a moment to arrive and land here. From here, we're going to go ahead and open our arms out wide into a T. palms up. As you inhale, your head's in neutral, and as you exhale, spin your head to the right and reach your left hand away from you. Breathe into that left chest, down into the length of the arm, all the way into the palm of the hand. Back to neutral as we inhale. Exhale, head to the left. Right hand stays heavy as it reaches away from us. Again, feel that stretch all the way across the right chest, down the length of the arm, into the palm of the hand, and back to neutral. So, again, head to the left, or head to the right, I'm sorry. Left hand stays heavy. Back to center, and then head to the left, right hand stays heavy. And back to neutral. From here, we're going to go ahead and bring our hands by the sides of the body. You can have the palms down. And now just slide your right hand down towards the bottom of the mat. And then bring it back to neutral. And slide your left hand down towards the bottom of the mat. And again, back to neutral. This time, slide your right hand down to the bottom of the mat. And your opposite, flex the foot and press out through the left heel as you send the right hand down towards the bottom of the mat. You're pressing out through the left heel. And then back to neutral, other side. Slide your left hand towards the bottom of the mat and then flex your right foot and press it down towards the bottom of the mat. And back to neutral. From here, we're going to, again, right hand slides down, press your left foot away, and now slide your left hand up towards, up a little bit. So like you want to hit your left shoulder up towards the top of the mat. And changing that up. So left hand slides down, right hand slides up, and the right foot presses down. And release. Okay, from here, we're going to go ahead and let the right foot roll out to the outer edge, to the outer edge of the foot. And then you're going to bend that right knee out to the side as you slide the right foot along the outer edge of the foot, slide it up towards the inner groin, and then you just release that. Other side, outer edge of the left foot, slide it up, and gently release. Back to the right. This time as you slide the foot up, roll onto the sole of the foot, roll to the inner edge of the foot, and then press into the inner edge of the foot. The knee in swings towards the left. And as you press to the inner edge of the foot, you lift the right hip off the floor. You're rolling towards the left. So a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a back bend on that right side. And then you unwind. So let's just do that again. So let the inner edge of the foot ground down, the knee in swings, pressing down through that as you lift the right hip, rolling towards the left and out to the side. Back to neutral. One more time. And bring it back to neutral. This time, you're going to go ahead and bring your right hand back down, palm down. Your left arm, you're going to bring it into cactus arm or goalpost arm to the side here. So just your left elbow's bent from the shoulder height. So this time, as you roll to the inner edge of the right foot, the knee goes towards the left. You're going to slide the right hand down and you're going to reach your left arm out towards the top of the mat. So now you're getting long through the left side. So really feel the stretch through the left side as you curl to a C on the right. And then you just unwind, you come back to neutral, bring that left arm back into cactus arm to the side, come back onto your back. And then again, roll to the inner edge of the right foot, knee crosses the midline, slide the right hand down towards the bottom of the mat. Left hand reaches for the top as you get long through the left side. And unwind out of that. So let's inhale now into that movement. So inhaling as you lengthen through the left. And then exhaling to unwind. Maybe just a couple more. Nice and easy. Good. And the last one. And then we're going to bring it back onto our back. Roll to the inner edge of the right foot. Let your left arm come down. And along the inner edge of the right foot, straighten the leg long, and then the foot rolls out. And then we'll come into the second side. So outer edge of the left foot, slide it up. And then roll onto the sole of the foot. Roll to the inner edge of the foot. Press to the, let the knee in swing. And then you're going to press into the inner edge of the foot as you lift the hip. And you unwind out of that. Come back onto your back. Again, come to the inner edge of the left foot, then the left knee crosses towards the right. You press into the inner edge of the foot to lift the left hip. You're rolling to the outer right hip. And unwind. One more time, just like that. And then we're adding the arms. So now, left hand down, palm down, just down here, but close to the hips, but not right up against it. Now the right leg is the straight leg, so the right arm is going to be your goalpost arm. So you bend that elbow out from the shoulders and the palms facing up. Again, you're going to roll to the inner edge of the left foot. The left knee crosses your midline. And then you press into the inner edge of the foot to lift the right hip. Now you're going to slide your left hand down towards the bottom of the mat. So you're coming into curl on the left. And you're going to reach the right arm up, getting long through the right seam. And then again, you just come back to neutral, onto the back. Roll to the inner edge of the left foot, knee crosses the midline. Slide that left hand down as your right arm reaches up. Get long through the right. And back to neutral. So again, just in and out of that a few times. Make sure you're still breathing. And then the next time you come back onto your back, again, bring your right hand back down and roll to the inner edge of the left foot again, knee in swings, and along the inner edge of the foot, straighten the leg out and let the foot roll out. And just take a moment here. From here, we're going to open the arms out wide, palms open up to the ceiling. We're going to bend one knee at a time, feet on the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, spin your head to the right. Let your knees rock to the left. And back through center, and as you exhale, other side. So just windshield wiping the knees now side to side as you turn your head in the opposite direction. And then back to neutral. We're going to reach the arms up for the sky, and we'll bend our elbows. So now we're going to shift our head to the right. So spin your head to the right again, and then just slide your elbows to the left. And breathe here. Keep spinning your head to the right as you slide your elbows to the left. So some sharing action here. And then bring it back to neutral and other direction. Head to the left, elbows slide right. And just pause and breathe here. And back to neutral. Now just change the stack of the forearm so the other forearm stacks on top. And we're going to add the legs. So take a breath in. As you exhale, head and knees are going to rock to the right as you slide your elbows left. And back through center. And exhaling, head and knees slide to the left as the elbows slide right. So now the head and the knees are moving together as the elbows move in opposite directions. Good. And then next time you finish the second side, just come back to neutral, release your arms. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers and press the palms up to the sky. Shrug your shoulders down the back so you make a big shoulder circle. And as the shoulders press into the floor and slide down the back, you keep them moving down the back away from the ears. Then we're going to straighten each leg as we press out through the heels. The feet are flexed. Keep your feet flexed. Pressing out through the heels, let your inner thighs roll towards the floor. So 10 toes are pointing up to the sky. Keep your elbows hugging in towards each other. Keep your low back pressing down into the floor. And then as you inhale, take your arms all the way up overhead. And now just take a nice full body stretch. And then just release your hands. Let them sweep along the sides of the body like you're drawing snow angel wings in the floor. And then again, inhale, arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, other thumb on top, so the awkward clasp. Press the palms up to the sky or the ceiling again. Again, hug your elbows in towards each other. Your feet are still flexed. Your inner thighs are still rolling towards the floor. Pressing that low back towards the floor. Inhale again. Go ahead and take that arm up. Can you keep your low back connected to the floor? It tends to want to arch off the floor. Back of the neck long. Good. And now you're just going to release the clasp of the hands and clasp your right hand around your left wrist. Keep your feet still flexed. We're side bending to the right. So we're opening up the ribs here, the lungs, the whole left seam. So use your right hand to bring the left hand over to the right. Keep your feet flexed. You can take those baby steps with the feet to the left side as well, coming into that crescent moon shape. Breathe into this left side. And really bring your awareness now into the ribs and the lungs inside the rib cage. Imagine you're fanning open the ribs. You're breathing space into the muscles in between the ribs. And that left lung is really getting nice space there. And then we're going to gently release. We're going to walk everything back to the center. We'll switch hands. Left hand holds your right wrist. And then go ahead and side bend it to the left. So while you're side bending, both shoulders are on the floor. Back of the skull's on the floor. Your chest and your face are all facing up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then you're using that left hand to bring the right hand now towards the left. Imagine fanning open your right ribs. Again, you can take baby steps with the feet to the left side as well, coming into that crescent moon shape on the second side. Keep your right shoulder sliding away from the ears. And then breathe into the right seam. Again, in your mind's eye, see your right ribs like a fan, fanning open. And then the intercostal muscles in between are like this beautiful silk of the fan. Breathing light and space into that. Breathing into your right lungs. And then we'll slowly release, bring it back to neutral, and allow your arms to sweep down by the sides again. Okay, from here we're going to bend the knees 1 foot at a time. Knees are bent about hip width apart, just a comfortable distance. We're going to bring our hands behind the head. And we're just going to press our elbows into the floor. Taking a breath in, go ahead and arch your head to tilt back, looking back, open your mouth. And then as you exhale, press your low back down into the floor, curl your tailbone up. You're going to lift the head, hug the elbows in towards each other, chin towards your chest. As you inhale, really focus on pressing the elbows towards the floor. Arch your low back off the floor. Tilt your head back, look back, expand the chest. And exhale, curl in, round up. So with your own breath pattern, nice and easy. Few more rounds, really expanding that front body as you inhale, and then curling in on yourself as you exhale. Good. And then the next time you come down, let's go ahead. We're going to roll over to one side, and we're going to come on up. So we're going to come to a comfortable seat. So you can take your blanket and maybe fold it a few times so you have something to sit on, a little bit of a lift. If you've got a cushion or a block, you can also sit on that. And just the comfortable. So if it's not comfortable for you to be seated on the floor in cross-leg position, you're welcome to sit in a chair, just something that's firm. So nothing that you're going to sink and round into. You want something that's firm that you can rock towards the front of the sit bones, whether you're seated on a blanket on the floor or seated on a firm chair. Go ahead, come to the front edge of your support, and then rock towards the front of the sit bones. As you rock to the front of the sit bones, feel your low back gently hugging in towards the spine. Get nice and tall through your spine. Let's take a shoulder circle here. So shoulders forward, up, back, and down. A couple more shoulder circles. And the next time our shoulders slide back and down, we're going to keep them back and down. So now grounding down through the sit bones, lengthen up through your spine, reach the crown of the head up for the sky. And then think about as your shoulder blades slide down the back body, the buttock flesh also slide down towards the floor. Gently hug your navel in and up slightly. Let your navel broaden into the back body. Let your collarbones broaden and spread. And then broaden into your mid back so that you don't overarch in the mid back. So broaden that mid back as well. Just take a beat here. From here, we're going to sweep our palms to face up. Inhaling, we're going to reach your arms out and up overhead. Palms together at the top. Exhale, slide it down all the way. And at the bottom of your exhale, just touch the earth or send your palms towards the earth. Again, inhale, sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, slide it down. Release it into the earth. One more. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Good. This time, inhale, arms out and up again. As we exhale, we're going to spin it to the left, or spin it to the right. I'm sorry. Bring your arms down. Inhale, we pulse it back up. And exhale, spin it to the other side. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, back to your first side as you bring the hands down. Maybe look back. Inhale, up. Exhale to your second side. Inhale, up. And this time as we exhale back to that first side, we're going to pause here. So both hands down. Let your back hand ground either onto the floor, your chair back, or the seat of the chair if you're seated on a chair. If you're on the floor, hands on the floor. If you're seated up high, the hands don't touch. Maybe you've got a block or something you can have behind you, just so that that back hand's grounded. And then really grounding down through the sit bones, lengthen that through the spine. Shoulder blades down the back, lower back hugging in. As you exhale now, start to spin back. So imagine, trace the rotation from the low spine, up the mid spine, upper spine, then the neck, the head, the gaze spins back. Your front hand, so if you're spinning to the right, your left hand now can reach for the right knee. Take a nice breath in here. And then as you exhale, spin your head forward, look over your front left shoulder. And keep spinning your navel, your heart back. From here, that left hand is on the right knee. You're going to lift your right hand behind you and just reach it for the wall behind you. Palm facing the right, thumb pointing up to start. And then take that right hand and now reach it up for the ceiling. So it's the hand behind you reaching up. Breathe in here. And then start to look towards your left knee. You're going to look towards your left knee. You're going to stay grounded in your right sit bone. Reach your right arm up like you want to bend towards that left knee. Breathe in here. With your next exhale, go ahead, start to turn yourself back towards the floor. Bring that right hand down towards that opposite knee. One hand on each knee, opposite knees. Pull the hands towards each other. Breathe into your back body. And then we'll come on out. Again, inhale, arms out and up overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to spin it to the left. So now left hand is behind you. It's grounding onto something. So the floor, a block. If you're in a chair, you can maybe hold on to the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. Then if it's available, that right hand can come over towards the left knee. Take that first breath in here to ground and lengthen. Always nice and tall through the spine. Low back gently in. And then shoulder blades down the back as you exhale. Spin back. Look back. Breathe here. Stay nice and grounded. With each breath in, think about grounding to lengthen. And then with the exhale, just see if there's the room to twist a little bit more. Take another breath in here. With your next exhale, just spin your neck, your head, your gaze to look over your front right shoulder. But your navel and your heart are still spinning back towards the left. Good. So now that right hand is reaching for the left knee. The left hand's behind you. You're going to take that left hand behind you off the floor and just reach it for the wall behind you. Palm facing the left, thumbs pointing up. And then take that arm up overhead, shoulder blade down the back, ground down through the sit bone, reach up with the arm. But again, try to avoid the shoulder way up in the air, so slide the shoulder blade down the back, ground that sit bone. And then from all of that grounding, you reach the hand up. Okay, now we're gonna start to look towards that right knee, stay grounded in the left sit bone, and then you're gonna reach your left hand for that corner, like in that direction of the right knee. And then eventually, as we exhale, we'll round ourselves to face the floor, bringing that hand down for that opposite knee. Again, one hand on each knee, and then pull the hands towards each other, tuck your chin in towards your chest, round your back body. And we'll release. Okay. If you are on the floor with your legs crossed, you're going to bring your hands behind you and plant your feet on the floor, just a windshield wiper a little. And then we're going to switch the crossing of the legs. So other leg in front or on top if you're still seated in cross-legged. Yeah, so it's going to feel a little more awkward. Okay, now let's go ahead, and whether you're in a chair or on the floor, hands on your knees again. If you're seated in a chair, just, have your feet stacked directly underneath your knees. Inhaling, let's rock to the front of the sit bones, glide the heart forward. Exhaling, rock back, curl your tailbone forward, chin toward your chest. Inhaling, we're expanding that front body. And exhaling, we're rounding back. This time as we inhale forward, we'll open our arms out wide. As we exhale, give yourself that big bear hug in. Right arm on top. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, left arm on top, hug it in. Inhale, open, expand. Exhale, gently contract, pull it in. Inhale, expand. As you exhale, other arm on top, alternating arms. This time, inhale, open. We're going to bring the left fingertips down. We're going to reach your right arm up overhead. Again, take a moment to ground here. So ground the right sit bone as you reach the right arm up. And then again, if your shoulder's way up in your ears, shrug the shoulder blade down the back. So get the shoulder blade down the back. Engage these muscles right here. Keep that action. Keep grounding into the sit bones, and then reach up with the arm. Then we're going to gently start to tip it over towards the left. So staying rooted in that right sit bone as you reach your right hand for the left. So it's from the grounding that we find the power to then rise and lengthen. And then you'll bring that arm back up, come back to the right arm lifted, left hand is still on the floor or pointing down towards the floor, fingertips pointing towards the floor. And then we're going to bend the right elbow, and we'll just bring that hand to the left side of the head as we gently tilt our head to the left. Just breathing into the neck, the chest, down the length of the arm here on that left side. And then take that hand off of the head and just bring your right hand to the right side of your face and use your hand to help your head gently back up. And the hands onto our knees, big shoulder circle. When you're ready, grounding down, sweep your arms out and up overhead. Keep the left hand lifted now, bring your right hand down. Ground down through the left sit bone, reach up with the left arm, but then shrug that shoulder blade down the back. Get that shoulder blade down the back, engage the lats there. Keep all of that, and then again, reaching the palm up, stay rooted. As you stay rooted, we're gonna go ahead and tip it to the right. So really grounded in that left sit bone, and then reaching that left hand away from you, keeping the shoulder moving down the back. Walk the supporting hand away from you. And then we'll inhale, bring our spine back up to neutral. And we're gonna bend that lifted left arm as we bring the left hand to the right side of the face. The right fingertips are pointing down and away from you, or the fingertips might be on the floor pointing away from you. And then let's go ahead and gently take our head now to the left. Walk your right fingertips away. Breathe into that. And then you're going to take that hand off the head, keep your head tilted, and use your hand on that side of the face to, again, help your head up. Once your head is back in neutral, hands onto your thighs or your knees, and again, some big shoulder circles. Okay, from here, we're going to come on to hands and knees just for some cat-cows. And to come into some down dog. So you guys know you can use a chair or like a piece of furniture that's stable and steady at home for down dog in a moment. But right now, if it's available to come onto your hands and knees, come onto your hands and knees. If being on your hands and knees is not good, you can stay in the chair with your hands on your thighs and just do what we did a moment ago, opening and closing this way. Otherwise, open your palms broad, ground the ball of the index finger and the thumbnail, those two inner points of the palm. Get those rooted first and then spread the palm broad to get the rest of the palm planted onto the floor. Your shoulders are stacked right over your wrists. Wrists are shoulder width apart. Knees are stacked underneath the hips and knees are hip width apart. So here, again, really pressing the two inner points of the palm. And then as you inhale now, think about broadening the sit bones and sliding the sit bones up. As you broaden the sit bones and slide them up, the belly naturally starts to hammock down, but can you keep your navel hugging up towards the spine, even as the belly hammocks down? Slide the shoulder blades down the back, away from the ears as you bring your heart through, chin up, look up. Exhale, it's reverse, tailbone down, inflate your kidneys up, chin towards the chest, crown of the head towards the floor. So just undulating with the ebb and flow of your breath. Inhaling, we slide through cow pose, expanding that front body. Exhaling, we round into cat pose, expanding the back body. Just a couple of times like this. Get that movement moving through the spine, helping the cerebral spinal fluid movements to move through the spine. And then bring it to neutral. We're going to reverse that pattern as we come into lion's breath. So this time, as you inhale, you're going to round up into cat pose. And as you exhale, come through cow pose. So cow pose is where we allow the belly to hammock down, but we bring the heart forward. So again, inhale, round up into cat pose. And now as you exhale, stick your tongue out, roar, and look to your third eye. Again, inhale, round up into cat. And exhale, roar like a lion. Release, clear it out. Let's just do a few more. Inhale. And let it be a cleansing breath. Release it out. Two more. Last one. Good. And then from here, we're going to come back to neutral spine. We're going to curl our toes under. So now if you've got a chair, you can take downward dog with the chair. I'll demo that in a moment. I'm going to demo it first from hands and knees, tabletop. So toes curled under. We're going to inhale again, come through cow pose. And now as we exhale, we're going to keep our sit bones broad and lifted as we start to lift the knees and slide the hips up and back, pressing into the hands to send the hips back into downward dog. You can come in and out of that a few times by inhaling down into cow pose again. Broaden the sit bones, keep them lifted as you slide them up and back. So that's if you're on the floor. Now, if you're working with a chair or a piece of furniture that's stable and that's not going to slide and move, then you can stand in front of the chair and just walk your feet back a little bit. And then you can slide into a downward dog here. Also, if you want, like if you don't have a piece of furniture, but you got a solid wall, you can bring your hands onto the wall and then walk your feet back. And then just press into your arms, let your head come between your arms, and then think about sitting your, pressing back the thigh bones into the hamstring. So whichever variation you're in, you might find it helpful when you come into downward dog to lift your heels and bend your knees and kind of like wiggle your butt a little bit and really broaden and lift the sit bones. And then you think about pressing your thigh bones back into the hamstring to lengthen the back of the leg towards letting the heels come back towards the floor. Let your head hang between the arms. Now, if you're somebody who tends to over arch, then you need to hug the navel up towards the spine so that you're not collapsing through the belly. And then if you're using a chair or wall, you're going to gently come on out, walk yourself in. And if you're on the floor in downward dog, you can go ahead and walk your feet up towards your hands. And then once your hips stack over your heels, bend your knees and clasp your elbows. If you're at a piece of furniture, you can have your hands on the chair if that's helpful. You can keep your knees as bent as you need. Or if you feel safe, you can have your elbows clasped. Maybe your head can even touch the chair. So just take a moment to hang. Shake out your head if it's not on a support. Then we're going to release the hands. We're going to bring our hands onto our thighs. We'll bend the knees. And we'll press down through the floor to all come up to standing. So all coming up to standing now. Good. All right. And let's just do a couple of half salutations before we come back to some more breath work and to finish out the session today. So take a moment to find Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are either hip width apart, or you can bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. But as best you can, let your feet be more or less parallel. So none of, like weird stuff. Body has certain patterns. So notice what your natural pattern is. And then right now, just see what does it feel like to stand in equal standing. And then take that moment to really connect in with the feeling of the earth underneath your feet. Feel the four corners of the feet, the ball of the big toe and the inner heel, spreading the soles of the feet, ground the ball of the pinky toe, the outer heel. And then four corners rooted, lift the inner arches of your feet, lift the inner ankles, inner knees, roll your inner thighs back. We're gonna shrug our shoulders forward, up, back and down. Lengthen your tailbone straight down into the earth as you reach the crown of the head up. And then think about pressing your inner thighs out, away from each other as you press your outer shins in towards each other. You can also think about sliding your sit bones gently in towards each other. Okay. Ground down. Let's sweep our arms out and up. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to swan dive. Hands onto your thighs or your shins. Lift your heart up halfway. Slide your shoulder blades away from your ears. You can keep your knees bent as much as you need. You can also do this at a chair, right? And then exhaling, we fold. We're going to pulse up again. Halfway lift. Inhale. Think about lengthening the front of the spine. Exhaling, fold. One more time. Halfway lift as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. Bend the knees if you need. Press down into your feet. We're coming all the way back up with those arms out and up. Palms touch at the top. And exhale, hands down in front of the heart. Release your hands. Again, ground down. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up overhead. Exhaling, we're going to dive. Swan dive, nice and slow. Hands to your thighs, your shins, or your chair. Halfway lift as you inhale. Lengthen the front of the spine, shoulder blades away from your ears. Fold as you exhale. Press down, coming all the way back up. Inhale, rise, rise, rise. Palms touch at the top. And let's just go straight back into it. Exhaling, dive. Halfway lift as you inhale. Fold as you exhale. Press into the earth as you rise all the way back up. And exhaling, we're going to spin it to the right. Bring your arms out, shoulder height, palms facing the right, thumbs pointing up. Look back at that back right thumb. Take a breath in here. With your next exhale, let that back hand sweep towards the floor and then back forward to meet the other hand, palms facing each other. Inhale, take your left arm up and out. Spin your chest and look to the left. Again, palms facing the left, thumbs pointing up, shoulder blades down the back. Look back at that thumb. Take a breath in. And with the exhale, let that hand sweep towards the floor and back forward. One more time. Inhale, reach your right arm out and back, up and back. Exhale, bring it down and forward. Inhale, left arm up and back. Exhale, down and forward. Good. From here, let's inhale both arms up and exhale, sweep them down. Big shoulder circle. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and I would actually like to do a little bit of a supported posture to open the heart before we come back to some seated pose to do a little bit of breath work. So I'm going to give options, okay? So one option, if you have 2 blocks and your back can take a little bit more back bending, this is the option that you might want to try. If you don't have the blocks or that's too extreme of a back bend for you, then wait, hang on, and I'll show you another option, okay? But we're coming onto our backs. And, you know, if it's not appropriate for you to come onto the back, I can show you a gentle option on a chair if you have like a folding chair. Okay, so the first option with the blocks is you're going to have your first block on the low setting going horizontal. This is for underneath your shoulder blades. I know we've done this together before. The second block is going to be about 3 to 4 inches away, and I like it, for me, I put it on the second height setting. For some people, you might need it on the second height setting with a blanket or a little lift. And if that's still not high enough, you can turn it onto the tower setting, okay? And then this is what it looks like. You're going to sit on the floor a little bit in front, and as you lay back, you basically want your shoulder blades to be on the block. So you want to make sure that the block is underneath your shoulder blades, and then that other block is for your head, right? And then we're going to let our arms rest to the side with our palms up, ideally, so that we can just broaden through the chest and the collarbones. Your legs can be straight out. You can have your feet on the floor, knees bent, and the knees knock in. Or if it's comfortable for you, you can have your feet, soles of the feet together, knees open, and Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. Okay, so what that looks like though is that the block, so here, if you use it, if you can reach, you can see, here's my shoulder blades, right, bottom of my shoulder blades. So I want the bottom of that first block to be at the bottom edge of the shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades are resting on the block. You don't want the block so low that it's jamming your low back or so high that it's up in your neck. You don't want to really place it underneath those nice plates of bones of the scapula, the shoulder blades. Okay. So when you come into this, sometimes this second block for your head, if you find your chin jutting way above your forehead, then that means you need to bring that block up a little bit higher. Either roll it onto the tower setting or put something else on it. Okay, so that's what the block. If you don't have blocks or that's too intense, you can use either a firm blanket or maybe like a big beach towel or something that you can roll up. And then you're in control of how high you roll this thing, right? So you can just, maybe you're just gonna take a couple of gentle folds, just a little bit, right? So here, you can see here's my blanket, and I just rolled a skinny little fold, and then maybe another skinny little fold. It depends on the blanket you got, you know, or you might want to roll it all the way. So then this becomes a thing. You're gonna just lay back, and you again get the blanket roll underneath your shoulder blade so that your armpits hang right over the top of it. And then your arms can be in cactus arms. Now again, if you come into this and your chin's jutting way up, then maybe you need a little pillow. You need another blanket or a cushion for your head so that your chin's not jutting way up. And then you've got this kind of fight or flight response happening in the body. So you want to make sure the body feels safe. And then again, whatever's comfortable for the legs. So this is the second option on the floor. For those of you who are not coming down, but you have a chair, like a folded chair you're working with, you can sit on your chair and maybe you can hook your shoulder blades into the, you know, side view. Here, the shoulder blade, and you can even, you know, if you're working with a folding chair and it's kind of hard, you can put a little something onto it, like a blanket or something. And then now I know that this is height dependent, like I'm a small person, so these chair backs were perfect for me. And then I can just kind of let the shoulder blades rest onto the back of the chair, and you can just open your arms here into cactus. You can use your hands behind your head to support the back of the head to come into a little bit of a back bend. You can also bring your hands down to the back of the chair. So some different options with the chair if that works for you. Okay, so just take a few moments in this heart opening pose, wherever you're choosing. And if none of these options work for you, then just take a moment and take a shavasana, right? Come into a resting pose or a comfortable pose that you can settle into. We'll just be here another breath or two, whichever variation you're in. And then come back to the supported fish pose to demo on out. So just make sure your jaw's soft, wiggle out your jaw. Start to take a slightly deeper breath in and out. Allow yourself to settle into this beautiful heart opening pose if you're in one of these supine poses. Okay, and then if you are on the blocks, we're gonna bring one hand behind the head, and then you roll to that side so that the arm, that elbow, that bent elbow becomes, so if your legs are straight, you're gonna bend the knees, feet on the floor. And then you're gonna roll to that bent elbow side so that bent elbow becomes like a landing ramp to help you off the block. And then we're gonna press on up. Let's just do some more breath work. So you're gonna wanna find a nice comfortable seat again. If you're on the floor, sit up on a little lift, just so that your low back doesn't round back, but you can bring your low back in towards the spine. So for some, that means sitting up a little bit higher, or sit up on that firm chair. So here, I'll demo it from the side. So if I'm sitting on a blanket, if I sit way back, I can tend to round back, and then my front body collapses. So what I want to do is I want to get myself towards the front edge of that to help my low back in, shoulder blades down nice and tall. Now, if your knees are really hovering, or if your knees are really higher than your hips, then you're going to want to sit up higher so you get your knees and your hip about the same height, or and if your knees are really hovering off the floor, you might want to have some support underneath them, either like you have another blanket or a big beach towel, you can roll that up and then slide it underneath the knees to support it that way. Okay, so those are some ways to take care of yourself since we're not together in physical space and I can't see anybody. So take a moment to find your seat, whatever that means for you, but really allow yourself to feel grounded. Allow yourself to rock to the front edge of your sit bones so that you can really ground down through the sit bones. And from that grounding, lengthen up, rebound the energy up the spine, nice and tall through the spine. Crown of the head, reaching for the sky. And then if you can even bring your hands, your fingertips gently to your neck and slide your neck back and then up behind your ears. So it's that sensation of sliding the neck back and up to lengthen the back of the neck, back of the skull. The chin just ever so slightly drops down a little bit. Shrug your shoulder blades down the back body. Navel gently in and up. Broaden through your collarbones. And then again, remember to broaden that back kidney band so we don't overarch into the low back. Okay, so we're going to just do a little bit of, we're going to breathe in and out in one nostril, then the other, and then we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so before we go, so sometimes when we start to do this, people really clench in the armpits. You want to stay soft in your armpit. And then let's go ahead and just use so now I'm not mirroring you. Right thumb closes off your right nostril. And just breathe in through your left nostril and breathe out. So just a few rounds, nice and easy, in and out through the left. So this is the lunar channel. So in this current hot weather, if you're feeling overheated, you might want to do some lunar channel breathing. You can just come and cool down your system by breathing in and out through the left channel a bit. And then you're going to go ahead and release that. And now use the tip of your ring finger to gently close off your left nostril. So again, keep the armpits soft. Try to keep your spine nice and tall, oriented forward. Try not to curl in on yourself. And now with your left nostril closed, just breathe in and out a few times out of the right nostril. So this is the solar channel. So if you're feeling lethargic, you might take a few breaths in this channel. Or, if you're feeling cold, like in the winter time, you can activate the solar channel by breathing in and out through the right nostril. Let's not do that too much right now because it's pretty hot. Okay, so we're going to release that. Now we're going to alternate side to side, and I'm going to walk us through that breath pattern. So, and sometimes people like to take their peace fingers and place it on the third eye to do this. Other people like to curl those two fingers in. I actually like to curl my ring finger over my pinky finger and then curl the two peace fingers in, and then I use that. But take a position that works for you. Again, remember, like you're holding an egg in that armpit and you don't want to crush egg yolk all over your armpit. So keep it soft, shoulder blades down. And let's go ahead and close off your right nostril. Okay, both nostrils open. Inhale through both. And you're going to close the right as you exhale out through the left. And then you inhale in through the left. Close both nostrils for a moment. And then open your right to exhale. So exhale out the right. Then you inhale in through the right. You close both. When you're ready to exhale, exhale out the left. Inhale through the left. And again, switching sides. So that's the pattern, is you always exhale and then you inhale through the nostril. After the inhale, you switch sides. Exhale and inhale. So nice and easy. Keep it soft. Make sure you're not forcing, you're not gripping. Nice and gentle. Just one more cycle each side. So completing where you're at. And then next time you exhale out through the left, whenever that is, when you get there, when you exhale out through the left, then release both nostrils, bring the hand down and inhale in through both nostrils. Just take a beat. Okay, and I'm going to turn things back over to Katie, but thank you all for being here, and I hope that practice felt good and you're breathing really well now. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Kat, for another great session. Those are really great exercises that I haven't seen before, so thank you. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right, and I can make this bigger. So this week's theme is breathing, and since this session of Reach and Read is for people of all ages to join, I wanted to share some book recommendations and app recommendations for all ages around the theme of breathing that might be helpful. So first up is a couple of apps. We have something called Hoopla and something called Libby that you have access to with your Sacramento Public Library card. And these are great because they have videos, different music playlists, and guided breathing meditation exercises that you can follow. So I wanted to make sure to bring that to your attention, that is there as a resource. And then we have a book that is for ages 3 to 6. It's called Breathe Like a Bear by Kira Willie. And this is one that I like to recommend over and over for our younger readers because it has 30 mindful exercises to help kids manage their bodies, breath, and emotions. And the illustrations in it are very cute. And then we have one for slightly older readers. So this is for ages 8 to 12, and it's called Just Breathe, Meditation, Mindfulness, Movement, and More by Malika Chopra. And it has exercises to help deal with the day-to-day challenges and tips to lead a healthier, happier, and more connected life. So I hope that you enjoy those and check them out. And let me stop sharing here. So thank you again for joining us for Reach and Read, and a big thank you to Kat for another wonderful session. We will be back next Thursday, July 20th at 10 a.m. for another session, so we hope to see you then. So to find a library location near you, sign up for a library card, or to learn about upcoming programs for all ages, just go to www.saclibrary.org. So for Kat, myself, and the Sacramento Public Library, thank you so much and be well. Bye!